Hi guys, how are you doing? Hope you're all well and safe, and thanks for joining me today in my studio. It's a little bit overcast out there. In fact, it's very overcast. It's chucking it down with rain, and I'm listening to the rain pounding on the window, which I absolutely love, by the way, while I've been painting. So my day's shaping up really nice. This is the third painting I've done from Special K's and I's walk at the ForemarK reservoir and woodland area, and I thought I'd try the Impasto brushes in Corel Painter. Not used it for ages, so it was a lot of fun experimenting with these. No cuts in this video. You get to see every single step of the way. So let's just wade straight in there. Today I am painting in Corel Painter, and I am going to paint this little scene here taken on Special K's and I's last walk, and I'm going to paint this with using Impasto brushes. So if you look at the menu, there is a option down here somewhere which says Impasto, and I've chosen a couple of brushes out of this selection and added them to a custom palette which I've just sort of created. I'll only use it for this one painting. I don't think I'll be using these colours. This is the one I'm really interested in, the dense Impasto block Jitter brush. So I'm going to choose that, and I want to get the canvas covered really quick. So I am going to whack the brush up to the maximum size. So first of all, it has, when you choose a brush that size, it has to do some sort of calculation for a reason. Then I'm going to choose a colour, and the reason I've done that, I don't care if it lags out a little bit, I just want to get some colour over this really quick. And you'll see very light pressure, you get light colour, press on a bit harder, you get darker colour like that. And I just want to get this covered really quick, so I thought this was would be quite a good way of doing that. Vary the colour a little bit. Let's get that kind of blue in the sky just going off there a little bit. Obviously I'm going to paint over all of this. This is just initial ideas. Got some light in here. Maybe even lighter still. I don't want to see any white canvas showing through, you see. So that's my plan. We are very quickly getting it covered. Let's go in with a warm orange. If I don't change the colours here, just use the slider, we get the same sort of value. So if I was convert that to black and white, we shouldn't see a deal of difference. A little bit of light pressure there, just to get that covered up really quick. So that'll do. We started, we're on the way to our painting. Now I can make this brush a more sensible size. Well, I don't know, make it, what's that, 79%. And let's start painting these brushes. And what I like about this brush, let's go with some green. What I really like about this brush is you can very quickly adjust the colour value. Not the colour at all, actually. The value goes from sort of light to dark by more pressure, darker colour, lighter pressure, very light colour. So you can get a real sort of detailed effect very quick with this brush. Let's get the colour picker over here so I can be a lot faster. Do like putting blues in. I'm gonna bring that to about there, I think. I'm just using the painting as a guide, the photo as a guide. Obviously, I've got the horizon probably a little bit lower. And then we've got this sort of shadow on the ground. I could sort of put that in. And across here. Oops. I've not changed the size of this brush since I started. It's at nearly 79%, nearly 80%. So can you see we're getting really very quickly. We're getting something that looks quite detailed. With not a lot of effort. This place, by the way, is called ForemarK Reservoir, and we went there about at the weekend, and it's the first time we've been since I started this YouTube channel. I think it's about the third painting I ever did on the channel was of this place, ForemarK Reservoir. So I'll put a link in the description to that video if you want to have a look at what I was doing when I first started the channel. And this is the only the second time I've painted from there since then. So this one brush is really doing it all, isn't it? Really. Kind of want it a little bit lighter just here. And then we can this down a bit. I don't intend to do the old painting with this brush. Just a lot of it. I'm going to make the brush a bit bigger now. This clumpy trees, just to get in some just to get this in a bit quicker, really. I like this fact that we're getting this sort of uneven edge. It's not perfect. Yeah. Sort of looking quite blocky, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. sort of squinting my eyes now to get these sort of patterns in. Dark bit here. The green. There we go. While I've got that large brush, I'm going to just add a bit of stuff going off down here. You kind of got to tap this. If you paint in straight lines, look, you get a bit of a sort of a repeat pattern going, which is not what I'm wanting. This is sort of, I guess this is an underpainting, really. The reason I'm using Corel Painter, I've not used it for such a long time. I've had an email saying that the latest version 2021 is out, and would I like to upgrade? So my first instincts were no, because I very rarely use the application, and then the second instinct was, well, just have a look at it first, Steve. Have a look, just see what you're missing. I think I need to just bring that lighter up there a bit, just in case it's revolutionary and there's all new features in it. And I've had a little look. I always, whenever anything comes out on Corel Painter, my go-to place is Aaron Rutten. I think he's got it nailed. He's a YouTuber who really is. You know what? When I use the square bracket keys to resize the brush, it goes into this timer thing, which really takes ages. So I prefer to use the sliders. It's a lot quicker. It seems to be almost instant compared to using the square bracket keys. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, Aaron Rutten, he is on it when it comes to Corel Painter. So I always trust his advice. He's very impartial. He is, I believe, a Corel Painter master, and he does seem to know it inside out, and he always does a really thorough review of all the new features. So I've been to check his channel out, and there are a few new features in thick paint brushes, but again, I didn't upgrade last year. I just didn't think there was anything there that warranted me spending the money. But I don't know whether to give it a go this year. I'm toying with the idea. But using this brush, which I'm really enjoying at the minute. The only thing is with this, we've got no texture, the canvas or anything like that. It's sort of flat colour, and we do need to we do need to start looking at that. And I'm thinking maybe we need to start looking at that in a second or two. Really, I just need to sort of be a little bit more detail in the sky, perhaps. Just up the brush a bit. There we go. Oh, that's way too blue there, you see. See, that adds a nice sort of pink. I've noticed on the colour picker there's a warm side to these. It's quite nice, almost like a complementary colour. It doesn't go to a really cool blue. It goes to this pink colour, which I really like. Just very quickly adding in detail. So fast, I like it. So yeah, do I upgrade or don't I? What do you think? What do you guys think? Should I give it a go? Would you be interested? And another thing I wanted to say, I was toying with the idea of doing some more live streams a while ago. And when I say a while ago, I mean over a year ago. Maybe a year and a half. I was doing live streams once a week, and I'm thinking I might do a few more, and they will take the form of maybe a couple of hours of live streaming at a time. There will be UK time in the daytime, so sort of maybe late morning, early afternoon time, couple of hours. And I was thinking maybe just painting in Corel Painter or Artrage or something, and they would be the exact opposite to the 15-minute paint challenges, where I spend a fair amount of time painting one picture, and you'll get to see the process from start to finish, and we can hang out and chat and do. What do you think? Is that something I should do again? I quite like the idea, because I've certainly got the time. There. That's a nice kind of painterly sky, I guess, what we're looking at. If you squint, you can almost see where we're going with this. So, how long is this video now? Oops, 17 minutes. We're doing all right. Right. I want to get some texture in, and I think let's just look at these brushes. Which ones was it I was looking at? Grainy Blender Impasto. I think this might be it. I choose this brush. Now that's more of a blender, but I'll tell you what, that's not a bad thing to be doing right now. Just softening off. Let's zoom in and have a look at what that's doing. Yeah, that's sort of breaking up that blockiness. I like some of the blockiness, so I don't want to lose it all. There we go. Let's make it look more painterly. I always wonder, and I always say, is painterly a word? Am I making it up? I think I've heard quite a few people use that, you know, painterly. That looks less digital, doesn't it? It was it's quite digital looking before, and of course, you know, that's not what we want, is it? We want traditional looking. Soften some of this foreground as well. Blend these warm browns into the green. Like that. Oh yeah, that's nice. It is a quality app, you know. It feels good. But it's really, it is expensive. I know it's got loads of features that if you're into painting, you'll never ever use all the cloning tools, and where you can sort of turn a photo into a painting. You know, you're never going to use them unless somebody, of course, wants try this course Sergeant Brush Jitter. Let's see what that does. Unless somebody wants you to paint them portrait, but they're haggling down on the price, and you might take the commission and think, oh, I'm going to get an head start because they're not paying me what I'm really worth. Is that naughty? Should you do that? And you get Corel Painter to do the first part of your portrait. I would never do that, honestly. This is an interesting brush. Gives a kind of a real, like what it's doing in this foreground. This is the the coarse Sergeant Brush Jitter. Although I've got a dark colour selected, it's not putting dark colour on. It's more like brushing dirty terps over your painting, I would say. But it's nice for a bit of texture. I think just in this sort of, well, I can't just do it in one bit of the painting, can I? Otherwise it's going to look odd. That's might be nice in the foreground a bit. Add a bit of this sort of textured rock, perhaps. It's almost like a pen when you are using really light pressure, and when you press on, you can see the texture. Let's zoom in so you can see. But you get this texture and sort of dirty terps thing going, which I could probably paint over. But I do like that sort of. It'll work really well for this sort of foreground. There. And I can always go back into it. What are these brushes here? Impressionist Sergeant Brush. Oh yeah, the yeah, I don't want to get into impressionism too much. I'll just quickly show you. it paints in this sort of impressionist style, like that look. Which that's why they're on that side. Rainy Blender Impasto. Well, that's the one we used to soften out a bit. And these are palette knife. I'm going to use the palette knife to put the trees in, but I'm not quite ready for that yet. I'm still working on the leaves. So I think I'm going to come back in with my dense impasto. And what are the brushes we've got here? If I right click, I can, left click on, or the bottom button on the stylus. That sponge blender looked interesting earlier. Try the Speckled Bristle Impasto. What does this do? Oh, now then. I'll just make the brush a bit bigger. Clearly got the wrong colour on there though. Let's get to something closer to what I want. That's not, no, I like that because that's giving us maybe a little bit big. That's giving us this nice sort of brushy look. Let's have a, and we're getting the texture of the canvas shining through as well. I like that. Can you hear the rain? It's absolutely teeming down. I think we're coming into autumn in the UK. It feels really autumnal at the minute. I was going to try and do this painting in a reasonable time so that I don't have to do a fast forward on it so you can see the whole thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to get away with that. This is a nice brush. I'm just going to add this to my collection. If you don't know how to do this, you select your brush, it's down here somewhere. You hold the shift key down and then you can drag that over onto your palette. And there it is. I'm going to put it this side. So I've now got that in my custom colours. You can blend the colour out as well, which is quite nice. So add some colour by just touching the canvas with your brush, but don't lift your brush up. Don't lift your stylus up, and you can spread that paint out a bit. Really nice. And we need these dark tones, don't we? Really, we've got to get them in. So I think now we're going from this, what was initially a really blocky painting, I'm just sort of mixing up those colours a bit to get lots of variation. I need to zoom out because I don't really know what's happening. It's too dark, isn't it? I've gone way too dark. Let's just lighten it all up a bit. So these shadows sort of come over here. This. And there a bit. Don't forget I can still use this, which one was it? Not that one, the greeny blender. Just push them out a little bit. Especially this bit, I got a bit carried away here. That's nice. Oh, it's got a plane going overhead. Maybe I should have shut my studio door. I've got the window open, listening to the rain. I'm really digging that. I'm liking what's going off here. I like this scumbliness here, but I'm not so keen on it. On these foreground. Oh, that helps though, just putting them in. I like this colour. Make a little bit of that. We can add that in the other place. Why am I painting so small? Let's just make it a bit bigger. That's better. I love the sort of mistiness of the thing. And that lightness. Let's put some tree trunks in. I think that's going to help. So I've got this pointed palette knife that I want to use for that. Select that colour. This blue, this dark blue. I'm selecting that. Not so much. Let's just step back a bit. I don't know if that's going to be the right brush. Let's just take that blender and soften it out again. Have another go. I'm wondering actually if I'd be better with the with this brush, which is the Speckled Bristle Impasto. I've got it really big, but make it a bit smaller, sort of 20. Have I got the right? Oh yeah, that's it. Ooh, I like that. I think that's quite painted. I'm going to leave that in. I wasn't sure at first. Don't need a lot, do we? Need some over here. I can soften that off in a bit. Now, don't have the same gap in between every one of these. Vary it a bit. There. Yes. I think I can painterly goodness around there. Use that blender a bit. I love what's going off here. I don't want to change that at all. I think I can afford to put in. I don't want to use that. I've done with that impasto brush. I think we're using the speckle. Got a few places where we've got this light shining through, and I'll probably soften it off a bit. All painted on one layer, by the way. This I've not been changing layers, adding layers, using multiply mode or anything like that. All painted on one layer. I love the simplicity of this, and I'm jumping between this brush, the called Speckled Bristle Impasto, and the Grainy Blender Impasto to get this nice softness. That's too much in it. I'm kind of overworking it, I think. I'm not careful. I've got to be very careful here. That's sort of, I think that's enough there. It's soft. I don't think we need this clumpy little thing in here. Let's move this colour palette out of the way. Shadow in there, I'm thinking, wouldn't be a bad thing. Oh, I've still got the blender. Right, blender. I love it when I'm experimenting and I'm doing something I haven't really tried before. Does this need to go sort of here? Maybe. Like that. Almost bringing those, that should be darker there. Not like that. I quite like the idea of going right in places. Just where we've got the odd place where light's catching it. But you know what? I don't want a fiddly little brush. Not my style, man. You've got to be a bit bolder. Mate, too bold though, innit? Maybe I'm wrong. I think the secret is smaller brush, but be conscious of where you're placing them strokes, but make them look random. Not an easy task. And I want a bit of light just here. I like what this yellow's bringing to it. Let's make a bold statement. I like the... Oh God, what have I done? Panic. I thought I lost it there. You know what? I've not even saved this once. It needs to happen. Maybe now. Let's get it saved. Oh, I have saved it. I saved it right at the very beginning. But I haven't actually saved it at all while I've been painting. I wonder if we could get away with it. I don't know. No, you know what? I don't normally do this. I normally say, you know, if you use a colour, use it over the whole of the painting to tighten. But I'm actually using this now as to create a focal point. There. I think that's it. That's finished. That's my simple little trees. Let's get this signed. I can use this brush. Make it really small. About 10. Pick up a dark colour. That's not a dark colour. What's going on? There we go. So, a simple little study using the Impasto brushes. I don't like this here. Just before I go, I've got to change that. It's not got that same freshness we've got going. We've got going off up here. I'm even going to go back to this initial Impasto block brush. Pick up a colour and just get that freshness back. There. I think that's better. Yeah. There we go. That's it. Use it as I was saying. A real simple little study using the Impasto brushes in Corel Painter. Don't forget, if you've want to see what I was doing 3 years ago. Maybe it might even be 4 years ago now. If you want to see what I was doing, check out that original painting I did, ForemarK Reservoir. I will put a link in the description. And if you've liked the video, and I assume you have because you stuck right till the end, a like would be much appreciated. Helps out the channel and all of that. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I have lots of videos like this, and I would love to be sharing them all with you. And don't forget, everybody, stay safe and stay sane. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.